Hello everyone. Today we're diving deep into the world of attraction and dating. Many of you are probably familiar with various strategies and games to find success with women, and often I focus on explaining the fundamental principles of building attraction. But there's a darker side to the dating world, a side where the lines between genuine connection and manipulation can blur. Some might argue that a degree of seduction is a natural and even desired part of a relationship, keeping things exciting and preventing boredom. However, this can easily cross a line, turning from a playful game of attachment into something much more intense, something that can force obsession. That's the topic for today. I'm going to explain one of the most unethical strategies to make a woman obsessed with you. It's a method I call emotional flooding with implied control. Before we get into it, a quick disclaimer. I don't care how you use this information, but please don't be a bad person. This strategy is something that happens to people all the time, often without them even realizing it, especially in situations where attraction is involved. The core principle, it's not what you say, it's how you make them feel. Here's the fundamental truth you need to understand. People don't fall for you because you tick all the right boxes or because you make perfect sense. They fall for how you make them feel. More importantly, they fall for the internal story they start telling themselves about those feelings when they're around you. Most guys think their job is to impress, entertain, or convince. That's exactly what makes them forgettable. When you're busy trying to create an experience for her, she's the one in control. But when you trigger an emotional state inside her without telling her how she should feel, her brain starts to do something fascinating. It tries to explain the emotion and it automatically links that feeling to the thing right in front of her, you. Her mind is wired to assign meaning to feelings. If she suddenly feels intrigued, safe, or excited, her brain will try to figure out why. And if you're the one she's talking to when it happens, you become the cause in her mind, regardless of whether you actually were. That's the hijack. Now for the other half, implied control. This is where it gets powerful. You're not bossy, aggressive, or demanding. You don't tell her to follow me or feel this. Instead, you speak and act with a calm confidence, like someone who already knows how things are going to unfold. You aren't actively trying to control anything, but you're still the one steering the entire interaction. It's a calm dominance. Not barking orders but being so centered and unfazed that she starts to feel like you know her better than she knows herself. She'll begin following your lead without even realizing it, because it feels natural to follow someone who seems emotionally stronger than her in that moment. And stronger doesn't mean macho or loud. It means grounded, collected, present, and in control of your own reality. This entire system is built on one thing: guiding her internal emotional state in a way that makes you the reference point for how she feels. Once that happens, her attraction doesn't feel like a choice anymore. It feels like chemistry. But it's not chemistry, it's control. When you master this, the steps become a way to execute the vibe. You're not trying to win her over, you're letting her discover how good it feels to be around you. And once she links that feeling to you, she won't be able to explain why she keeps thinking about you. She just will. Here are the 3 steps to apply this strategy. Step 1. Elicit an emotional state. This step is simple to say, but most guys miss how deep it goes. Your goal is to make her feel something, anything. Until a girl feels something, you're just background noise. This doesn't mean you have to act like a clown or try to be funny. That's desperate, and she can smell desperation from a mile away. What you're doing here is subtle. You're trying to trigger a small shift in her internal world while keeping your own frame rock solid. She has to feel something while you remain still. That contrast is what sticks. Let's say she's talking, and you sense she's on autopilot, polite, cold, maybe even bored. Don't match her energy, tilt it. You might say something that breaks the script, like, you talk like someone who's always pretending not to care, but deep down you care way too much. Then you pause. Don't explain it. Let it sit there. She might laugh, deny it, or squint her eyes and ask, "What makes you say that?" It doesn't matter. That reaction is the emotional shift you're looking for. That's your win. The mistake most guys make is to jump on this tiny emotional response. They'll start chasing the laugh or over-explain themselves. But if you're smart, you let her marinate in it. Change the subject. Stay cool. Keep talking like nothing just happened. Why? Because when a girl feels something and you don't react like you're desperate for approval, her brain asks, "Wait, why isn't he trying harder? Why did I feel that? Was it him? Was it me? Who is this guy?" That little question mark is how obsession starts. You don't need to be funny or mysterious. You just need to learn how to push the right button and then walk away as if you didn't mean to. Sometimes it's as simple as catching her off guard with an observation, teasing her in a way no one else dares to, or even just being silent at the right moment and letting her fill the gap. This is where the game begins. If she isn't feeling anything, she won't remember anything. Your job is to drop an emotional pebble in her water, not a rock. Just enough to create ripples that she'll keep feeling long after you're gone. Step 2. Anchor that state to you. When someone feels something intense, excitement, embarrassment, nervousness, whatever, the human brain naturally tries to attach that feeling to something in the environment. It wants to explain it. And if you were the closest thing to her in that moment, even if you weren't the cause, her brain anchors that emotion to you. That's how people fall for the wrong person all the time. They feel something intense and the person standing there becomes the source in their mind. It's not logic, it's psychology. Your job here is not to create more emotion. That's already done. Your job is to subtly place yourself as the container of that emotion. You don't say, "See? I made you feel that." That kills it. It's not about proving anything. It's about being present in the emotion without over-explaining. Let's say you teased her earlier and she laughed harder than she expected. You don't keep pushing the joke. You look at her for a second and say, "That laugh right there, I like it." Then you move on. Now what did you just do? You took the emotional spike and you dropped your fingerprint on it. Every time she remembers how she felt in that moment, her brain ties it back to you. Or maybe she shares something personal. She says she feels lost sometimes. You don't go into therapist mode. You just say, "You don't show that side often. I get it." Then you pause. No advice, just presence. Boom. You just anchored vulnerability to you. Now, whenever she feels exposed around other people, she'll crave the comfort she felt with you, even though you barely said anything. That's the power of anchoring. Be the person she felt the feeling around, then fade out a little. The more her emotions come and go while you remain still, the more her subconscious ties you to that relief, that intensity, that feeling of being alive. Once that happens, she'll seek you out not because of who you are, but because of how she feels when you're around. Step 3. Embed commands and control. This is where you use language to subtly guide her behavior. It's not about being a hypnotist. It's about speaking like someone who already expects her to respond in a certain way, even when she thinks she's the one in control. I once knew a woman named Lena who was always in a rush and always seemed to have her guard up. Guys tried to flirt with her, but she just shut them down. I didn't want her attention. I wanted to leave a mark on her mind that she wouldn't even understand until she felt the pull without knowing where it came from. One night, we were waiting for the elevator. She looked tired. I said, "You look like someone who's always in control." She glanced at me and smiled a little. "I try to be," she said. Right there, I embedded the first command. The sentence, "You are someone who controls," subtly framed her. By framing her, I was also shaping how she wanted to act around me. Later I told her, "I work with people. I help them drop the masks they wear and just feel okay being seen for once." It's strange how some people, once they relax, start opening up without even realizing it. That sentence was laced with commands. Drop the masks, feel okay being seen, and start opening up. But I said it as a general observation, not a direct command. Her brain processed it like it was just conversation, but those phrases were working in the background that we started crossing paths more often. I never chased her. I just dropped little seeds every time. Once, she opened up about her fears and the pressure to always be perfect. I looked at her and said, "You don't have to explain everything to feel understood. Sometimes, when someone's just safe to be around, you stop needing to control the moment." Read that again. You don't have to explain everything. Feel understood. Safe to be around. Stop needing to control. 4 layered suggestions said as empathy, not manipulation. Her brain heard it and her subconscious just did what it was told. She started opening up even more. That's how embedded commands work. You don't tell her what to feel. You describe it as if it's already happening to someone else or as a general truth, and watch how her brain follows it without even knowing why. The time loop trick. Here's a bonus trick that's sneaky, a little twisted, and incredibly powerful. I call it the time loop trick. It's how you bend the way a woman thinks about the moment she's in. I was once talking to a girl at a party who had her guard up. I wasn't trying to impress her, I was just letting the night flow. Out of nowhere, I said, "Isn't it weird how some conversations feel like déjà vu? Like you meet someone for the first time, but something about it feels like it already happened before and you don't even know why." Stop and think about what I just did. I didn't ask her to feel anything. I described an experience that makes the brain scan itself for familiarity. If she was enjoying our conversation, her mind would unconsciously tag that feeling as something she'd already felt before. Boom. Instant comfort. It's as if we had a history that's what a time loop does. It hijacks her sense of time and makes this moment feel bigger than it is. It makes her feel like it's part of something ongoing, something that didn't just start with hi, and won't end when she walks away. Here's another one. A girl asks what kind of relationships you like. You say, I think the best kind of connection is the one where you don't even realize how deep it's gotten. One day you're just talking, and the next thing you know it feels like you've known each other for years, and you can't even figure out when that shift happened. Do you feel what's happening? She's in this moment with you, but you're describing a feeling from the future, a connection that's already deep. Now she's scanning the present moment for proof that maybe it's already happening. You're not just a guy she's talking to, you're a guy she might look back on and say, damn, that moment meant more than I thought. Once the brain vividly imagines something, it starts treating it as partially real. If she imagines remembering you later, you've just increased your chances of becoming unforgettable. You don't force it with a cheesy script. You tell stories. You describe feelings. You casually talk about the weird way time works when you connect with someone. Make it subtle. Make her mind drift. The more you play with time in your words, the more you pull her into a bubble where she's not thinking, is this guy attractive? She's thinking, why does this moment feel so different? That's the loop. That's the hook. And most guys will never know it even exists. Final thoughts. In short, this is how it all comes together. You hijack her emotions. You anchor them to you. You subtly lead her behavior with covert language, and then you trap the memory of it inside her long-term timeline. The entire time you're not asking for anything. You're not convincing her. You're not reacting to her every move. You're just letting her feel more and more while you hold the frame like none of this matters more than it should. That's implied control. This system works because it's not about pickup. It's about understanding one simple truth. Emotions make people follow. Stability makes them stay. Most guys either bring no emotion or they bring emotion and then crumble. You, on the other hand, create it and own it. And that's what women secretly crave. Because when you hijack emotion and she realizes you're still the one driving the car, that's when she gives you the keys. This was the Ember Stoic, and I'll see you in the next video.